when Rihanna put out Umbrella. He was like, one-hit wonder, calling it now. And I was like, wow, that take his age terribly. To be fair, though, when was the last time Rihanna put out music and not makeup? Update, I do love the new Taylor Swift album by now. I'm Hannah Kaiser, and this is The Bandwagon. Last week, I begrudgingly bandwagoned the then best team in baseball, and in doing so, possibly jinxed the Dodgers or at least Hyun-Shin Ryu. Of course, they're still about 100 games up, don't Google that, and set to coast for the rest of the regular season to their 7th straight division title, which is fine with me. It gets very, very cold on the East Coast in fall, and I hate to be cold, so LA, here I come! In a month, that is. Unlike Billy Joel Armstrong, I have to spend September sentient, and so this week we are continuing the tours of teams that will still be relevant when he wakes up, and I'm bandwagoning the Astros! Waiting all season to talk about the Astros has paid off because this week Justin Verlander ensured that even if he is prone to professional pettiness, reporters will continue to have to speak to him on whatever terms he grants them because dude is a machine on the mound.
Here it comes. Ground ball left side, waiting on a Toro. He's got it, throws across in time, and that is the ball game. A no-hitter!
Whoa, no hits at all! After presumably reviewing the footage of himself celebrating and doffing his cap, Verlander decided that he looks better with a hat on and really just strained that assessment as far as it could possibly go by donning this getup postgame. But rather than consider whether white guys from Virginia should be allowed to sartorially reference Old Town Road, I want to take a moment to actually encourage Verlander to embrace his male pattern baldness as evidence of his relatively advanced age. Because, at 36 years old, Verlander has just become the 6th pitcher in history to throw at least 3 career no-hitters. And rather than a fluke or a flash in the pan, this performance is indicative of the fact that now closer to 40 than 30, Verlander is having one of his best years yet. And I will bandwagon the out of that old-ass energy.
Yeah, bandwagoning, baby!
The 2019 All-Star Game starter currently has the 2nd best single-season whip of all time, and in fact, most of his advanced metrics are even better than when he won the Cy Young, MVP, and Triple Crown in 2011. The historic no-hitter might not have even been possible if not for a timely 2 out in the 9th inning home run to break up the scoreless stalemate by a rookie, and not the one who's going to win Rookie of the Year because of all of his many monstrous home runs. That would be Yordan Alvarez, and this was Abraham Toro, who is making his home country debut in the Toronto series and who earned himself a shout out by one of the game's best pitchers. Enough about that one game. The very next day, Garrett Cole moved up from 2nd to 1st on the strikeout leaderboard for the season, and in doing so, he passed his teammate Justin Verlander. All of that is a tremendous amount to say about their rotation without even mentioning that the Astros did the only good trade at the deadline this year by acquiring Zach Greinke, but that's fine because I think Greinke would prefer that no one ever talk to or about him anyway. I wonder if Verlander knows about his no-hitter take. Have you guys seen this? Zach Greinke?
What is it?
Zach Greinke's no-hitter take is that no one should throw a no-hitter because it seems like a lot of fuss and then people have to talk to you. He's like, 1 hit, people leave you the alone. Any less than that, you gotta give quotes and you gotta wear a cowboy hat and address the media. They do have an offense led by Alex Bregman, who did the thing that all beat reporters say they're gonna do and don't ever follow through on and actually learn Spanish to speak to half the baseball playing population. But more importantly, after the two simmered some beef on Twitter for months, Bregman clarified his relationship with Trevor Bauer.
You guys are somewhat friends though, right? I mean, you guys...
No, we're not friends.
Root for the Astros! Or at the very least, vote for Justin Verlander to win the Cy Young Award because if not, Kate Upton will come for you too.
You'd say you're a fan?
I would say that I'm a fan of Kate Upton's trolly tweets, yeah. Let's find out! Fan out of fan!
Joe West!
Okay. Let me set the scene. It's Labor Day weekend. The Mets are playing the Phillies. Rajai Davis is on base. Somebody else gets a hit. Rajai Davis comes around the base. He slides into home plate. The slide barely grazes Joe West. I'm not actually sure he made contact. I think just the breeze of Rajai Davis sliding into home plate causes Joe West to lose his balance entirely. And he falls forward and lands on Rajai Davis, who is in like a plank position. Do a plank, and then add 300 pounds and see if you can keep doing a plank. To his credit, Rajai Davis can keep doing a plank. Joe West is unable to remove himself from Rajai Davis's back. And so Hector Neris is like, I would like to continue to play baseball, and so I guess I'm gonna have to remove this large man from the other man on home plate. And comes over and like hoists Joe West up off of him, and then Joe West is like, Out. They zoom in on Rajai Davis's face, and he's like, oh! I fully thought he was having a heart attack, and I think probably some other people did, where they were like, oh shit, we gotta get him up. He looks hurt. And, out. And they're like, oh, never mind, he's just being Joe West. I was a huge fan of that entire thing, and that has led me to believe that I'm no longer a fan of Joe West. I think he should retire.
Taco Tuesday.
Taco Tuesday, good. Tacos, great. I don't like hard tacos. We don't have time for that. LeBron James is trying to trademark Taco Tuesday because he eats tacos on Tuesday. Taco Bell's already thought of that. Taco Bell is not like, oh shit, tacos on Tuesday? We should have done that. So not a fan.
Sprinting in from the bullpen.
Jared Hughes of the Phillies is a bullpen pitcher, and he has a bit that he does where he runs very fast, but not actually, in whenever he has to come in from the bullpen. And this past week, the outfield camera caught JT Realmuto talking to Gabe Kapler and then looking out to see Jared Hughes going, and he goes, and then later, he had to clarify. He was like, oh no, I totally wasn't making fun of him. I think it's hilarious that he does that. It's so cute that he has that little thing that he does when he runs in from the bullpen. Not a fan. This is dumb because it's like, it might actually be affecting his ability to like pitch competently. Like once they need you, you gotta be able to pitch as quickly as possible and as well as possible, and you don't have like a lot of time to catch your breath. So he shouldn't run. Maybe he's trying to get in the batter's head by being like, look at how bad I am at running. Oh, I can still throw. I don't think so. I think he's just not in peak physical performance.
Not good at throwing either.
Not a fan.
Hacky sack.
So the A's were at Yankee Stadium over the weekend. I was also there. Before the game, when they're usually out in the field doing like various drills, the A's were throwing around a football, they were kicking around a soccer ball, and they were hitting a hacky sack. They were only doing foot-eye coordination sports, which is strange, because that doesn't come up in baseball.
Oh.
So a bunch of the A's were kicking around a hacky sack, and it's probably the sport that a professional athlete is the most worst at than like a kid with dreadlocks who goes to like the local liberal arts college. Like they could have gotten schooled by some like white guy majoring in environmentalism. I was a fan of when I encountered it, but if you ask me to hacky sack, I'll be like, I'm sorry, I'm not a fan. Because I think I'm bad at it.
Alright, let's do it.
Recently, the Yankees bought back a controlling stake in the Yes Network, and as part of the announcement, team president Randy Levine accidentally leaked a very interesting scoop, telling reporters that MLB is planning to change its policy on the distribution of digital rights. Now, hopefully, this will mean waiving the alienating blackouts that keep MLB TV subscribers from watching their local teams. But if it's not that, then my humble proposal would be definitely do so. As it stands, people who spend $116 annually for a full baseball package can't watch the team that they live near, the team that they probably root for, and the team that if they were able to follow along at home, they would be more likely to go see in person. Blackouts prevent fans from watching the marquee national broadcasts, and in places like Iowa and Hawaii, they effectively preclude caring about baseball at all by blocking the broadcast of up to 6 different teams all season long. For a sport that's continued popularity is predicated on the ability to grow a younger audience, preventing cord cutters from paying to consume the product is both a colossal source of frustration among fans and an embarrassingly short-sighted business decision. The regional sports networks that dictate these blackouts pay handsomely for exclusivity, and that price tag represents a sizable chunk of each team's income. But if money is really the driving force here, and it probably is, maybe they could make up the difference by offering a slightly broader slate of commercials on the app. I mean, how hard is shaving really? Yeah, only nobody gets that joke. It's fine. This week we are rooting for the Astros. They are good. We only talked about Justin Verlander's no-hitter, but they have other good players as well, and they will continue to win and probably actually be in the World Series instead of the Yankees because the thing that matters the most once you get to the postseason is having the 3 best pitchers. Other things that we are a fan of, everything about the Joe West clip. Ooh, could we play it in reverse?
Yeah.
Okay, so the end of this episode is and then we'll play Joe West being pushed onto Rajai Davis by Hector Neris. Enjoy this short film. I made it just for you.
Yeah.